Welcome back to Popular by Purpose. If you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on these amazing episodes. But today we got a special guest. Go ahead, man. Tell them who it is.
What's good? It's your boy Show Sharp, Mo in the building. My dog Miguel, man. Episode, I think 6. We got a special Orlando native today.
Legend.
Somebody we had to beg to get on the show. Somebody that played at UCF, legend basketball player. And my dog B Jiggity right here. DJ Taylor.
What's up,
Good to
What's
see
up,
y'all,
my
man.
boy?
Good to see you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I know, man. Welcome to the show, dog. I see this guy every week, every Friday getting fresh.
Friday,
I'm not
yes,
his
sir.
barber though. It's the first person that I'm
shout
not.
out Dave Razor Sharp.
Dave
If you haven't
Razor
already,
Sharp.
follow him on IG.
Dave,
man.
one of the many goats in this building.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got a lot of ghosts in
Probably
here.
number
do.
one.
Y'all
You
do.
probably
You know what I'm
number
saying?
one.
He crazy. He's Razor
Dude,
Sharp.
Orlando athletes wouldn't have got no cuts if it wasn't for this place, man. All right?
Yeah, facts.
Honestly,
He didn't even lie.
That's a
honestly,
fact.
man.
That's a fact.
Really.
That's a fact. We've been cutting for 10 years together now. In March, it'll be 10 years together.
Yes, I was thinking about that earlier today. I was like, because I was telling him that you don't know this, but the first person that cut my hair that wasn't my dad was him.
Oh, really?
He was the first person.
No, I
I was
remember.
18 years old, so I mean, now I just turned 29
And how'd you find him?
last week.
AD.
My teammate, Adonis Enriquez.
Oh, okay.
Yo,
okay.
shout out AD.
I didn't know
Shout
that.
out
AD,
The other one, I
for
thought it
sure.
was Davis.
Shout out
Sure.
AD.
So he
Shout
came
out
up. He
AD.
came up to UCF. Came up to the top.
You guys were like roommates, right?
We lived in the same. It was like some
Yeah.
freshmen. This is like when we first got there too. Probably the first 2-3 weeks. And he showed up to the dorm, and AD was getting a cut. I don't even think I was supposed to get a cut. I just was in the, well, you know how college stuff. You just hang out in the dorm, and then he was like, "Oh, nah, BJ here, like cut BJ too," and he cut me, man.
You know what's
First real cut.
Boy, I had never seen my hairline look like
He
that,
had
bro.
told me, he was like,
Never seen
yo,
it.
come cut me up. I got some people in here to get cut.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I was something like that. And I was like, bro, you sure? Because I'm not trying to drive over there. It's just you, because you could just come here.
Right.
And I was trying to, at the time, market like barbershop, East of Spades and stuff. And bro, I show up and bro, he got no edge. I said,
None.
you need a cut. I said,
None.
and then I'm cutting his hair. And I'm like, and I was just like, and then AD jokingly said his dad cut his hair. He said like a joke. He said like a
meant
joke.
You gotta know AD. You gotta know AD to know how funny
he
he
makes
is.
jokes.
You know.
He said his dad cut his hair, and I was just like I didn't even laugh at it. I was like, oh, okay, like.
Yeah.
And then he was like, nah, his dad cut his hair for real. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, nah,
So he
hold
knew
up.
your dad was your barber.
Yeah.
Shout out Pops, man.
Yeah, look, man, it was 2 things. F and C. It was free and convenient.
Yeah, facts.
That's what it was.
So you can't beat that.
We know all
Hey, yo,
those.
let's bring that up. So you're born and raised in Orlando, Florida?
Yeah, no, I was born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. A lot of people don't know that. Mhm. Yeah. So my Baton Rouge, Louisiana, that's where my mom and dad met in college because they both went to Southern University. Shout out to HBCUs. And then my dad was a football player there. My mom was from Baton Rouge, so they met in college. And then after college, stayed in the city, and that's where my uncles, aunts. Most of my extended family, outside of my dad's side of the family, most of my family from Baton Rouge. So a lot of people don't know that because I'm such an Orlando guy. Yeah. But I mean, I moved here when I was like 10 months.
Oh, okay.
Yo.
Yeah, so I don't even,
Coach was right.
Which coach?
Coach said Louisiana.
Yeah, I know. That's just funny. Nah, but he's Orlando. man.
I am, but it's just
he's
Louisiana.
Orlando.
Baton Rouge is my second
Because
home.
we had asked him, like, where's all the talent, right? And we, off camera, he said a lot of places. I don't know if he said on camera. Did he?
There's some dogs in Louisiana. There's some dogs. There's some dogs. So.
Hey,
Who
Jay.
said
I
that?
said,
Coach Mathis.
yeah.
The last
yeah.
He said Louisiana got a lot of
He said
talent.
Louisiana got a lot
He said
of
On the
sleeper.
football
He
side,
said sleeper,
On
yeah.
the football
Sleeper,
side,
he said sleeper talent.
Basketball is hit or miss, but on the football
Yeah, I was gonna
side,
say.
Athleticism, you athletic. You've been athletic your whole life.
they got a
That
lot.
explains
They got a lot of football talent. That's the whole South. I mean,
They got so much football talent. It's
Yeah.
scary what's going on over there.
but I mean, we spent Thanksgivings, Christmas. My dad from South Georgia, but I mean, we spent most of my summers were spent when I was real little in Baton Rouge. So
What got your parents here to Orlando? Because you obviously said
dad's job, yeah. So they moved to San Diego. Had a job out there working for it was called Martin Marietta. It's before Lockheed Martin, big national defense company merged together with it was something with Lockheed, and then Martin Marietta merged. And then once they worked out there, they moved back to Baton Rouge, had me. My sister was already 3 years old. Then my dad took another job here in Orlando, still working for Lockheed Martin, because he worked for them for like 25 plus years.
That's amazing.
And then that was it. And once he laid down roots here, man, they never leave. Never left.
You just have a sister, that's it?
Yeah, just one sister. Same house that I grew up in. They still live in. They ain't left. My mom's been like, you know what, we should go somewhere else. But he's like, nope. My dad's a simple man. He likes what he likes.
I think
Same thing with my mom too.
life is lived best. Life is lived best when it's simple.
Yeah.
I think when you start adding everything to your life. Speaking from personal in my life, like you start adding too much, it's great, but obviously it's not as simple no more.
Yeah, well, he's big on what what really matters. You know what I'm saying? It's not the house you're in; it's the people in the house.
Amen.
You know, so he like, man, look, we've been happy here for a long time. Why are we gonna leave? And she's on the same.
Hey, he not lying, though.
all the roots is here
Hey,
now.
Central Florida is nice. Once you here already,
And that's true.
and you're not gonna get taxed on everything because it's so expensive to buy now.
Yeah.
When you've been here already, like. Why leave?
I don't
It's
know a
beautiful.
lot of people from Orlando that don't like Orlando. Honestly.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
it's usually people that have never been here or spent a lot of time here or only went to Disney World. You know, they're the ones that are like, oh, Orlando's this and that, but that's because they see it from the outside. They're not from here. They don't know what it's like
That's
to
fact.
be here, you know. And if I do meet somebody from Orlando who don't like it here, I'd be like, I don't have time for you.
Yeah, just get out of here.
Go somewhere else. It's a lot of cities to live.
Next
You know what I mean?
time.
I hate when I meet a person who complain about being here.
People from New York.
Man, Orlando's so small, man.
I can't do this Florida, yo.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Orlando's small, man. Y'all ain't, man, whatever.
Hey,
Bro,
real, though. Get
you
out of
all the
here,
time, man. It be all the time.
bro,
You
not
go
even
back.
lying.
You know?
It'd be terrible.
They'll
It'd be
take you
like,
back.
you want to say it so bad, you just be like, the next haircut.
Right.
But then you be like, I got no advice for you. Hey, question. So your dad played football. So I'm guessing you grew up playing football?
I did. I played football all the way from 8 years old to I was 15. So basically, my dad was a college quarterback. Both my uncles were college quarterbacks. One at Jackson State, the other at FAMU. My uncles played football. We a whole football family. I'm the only one that was basketball. I was a running back and middle linebacker, Mike.
Oh, he was getting thumped in the middle.
I was a thumper. That's why I stopped.
You was doing it.
I was thumping. That's why I was I was going from basketball. So 3 months out the year, I'm out there playing football, right? And playing Mike linebacker and then
Going offense and
going
running
offense.
people
I'm
up.
playing fullback or running back.
Yeah.
I'm doing all the hidden positions.
Yeah.
Fullback and middle linebacker. Main responsibilities are as fullback, your job is to go hit the linebacker.
Yeah.
As a Mike linebacker, your job is to go stalemate the fullback.
Yeah. Clock
So
that
I'm
hole.
doing all the hitting, all game, and then I'm going to
yeah.
basketball, and I'm out there for it's this air conditioned gym, it's free flowing.
Yeah.
I'm scoring a lot of points.
Hey,
I'm like, what's the point of going back out here on this?
Hey,
you're
they
better at
touch
basketball.
you, you're like, foul.
You better at basketball?
Look, man, yeah, I guess so. I guess because
All basketball guys want
worked
to be
out.
good at football. Look at that.
Because in ninth grade, I got moved up to varsity at Boone.
Oh, really?
I was good, bro.
Varsity football?
Varsity football. AJ Turman, Marvin Bracey years, man.
And what you was playing? Fullback?
Like linebacker, bro.
Oh, that's nice.
I was linebacker, yeah, man. I was
that team
good.
was loaded too.
I wanted to play quarterback in high school. That was the only position I could play that I could have played football and basketball was linebacker. Because if I'm not playing one of those positions, once you get to high school, your body got to change.
Facts.
Right? Like if you think about the guys that played, if you think about the football players that also played basketball, typically it's a it's a quarterback, it's an athletic wide receiver who can just run and jump and dunk.
Yeah.
Or you have those tight ends. You know what I mean? Those guys that are
guys in the
6'6".
paint.
Yeah, in the paint, 6'6", 6'7". They high school centers, but they just bigger, stronger than everybody, and they got good footwork because they play tight end. But for me, since I was playing basically middle linebacker, I had to go one or two directions. Because when I played middle linebacker, I was 5'8", 180, but I was like a little freshman, you know what I mean? But I was a little stumpy, you know what I mean? Little dope boy, you know what I mean? But I had the leverage. I could get in the hole and get up underneath your pads.
Yeah.
So then basically, I played JV basketball that year when I was in ninth grade. And I was still stumpy and chubby, you know what I mean? And basically, we had a conversation, me and my pops. It was like, okay, look, if you're gonna play football, then you need to start training like a football player, right? So you need to lean into the weights, you need to lean into getting brolic, you need to lean into getting strong, right? Because that's kind of how my body type naturally was. But then he was like, if you're gonna play basketball, then you gotta slim up. You know what I mean? You can't be a middle linebacker trying to play point guard, bro. That ain't gonna work out. So then I slimmed up, had a growth spurt from 9th to 10th grade. I went from that 5'8", 180 to 6 foot, 165. So you think about it, I grew like 3-4 inches,
Yeah,
lost
yeah.
15 pounds.
Yeah, that's fire.
You know what I mean? So now I look like a basketball player, I look like a point guard, and then I never went back to football. But, you know, nowadays when people see me, they think I play football.
You swole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
people
but
think
that's the thing. Even playing basketball, he was always swole.
Yeah, you
I
were
was
broad
strong,
shoulders.
He
Yeah,
had
yeah,
broad
Oh,
yeah.
shoulders.
man, I
And
hate
he-
to see them players
yeah.
that were skinny when
Yeah.
they played, and
Yeah,
now they
yeah.
strong as hell. I'll be
Yeah.
like, people not gonna recognize you, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and bro, he drove to the back. He would drive to the basket and be able to create space off of just a little bump.
the
you know?
shoulder
And
bump,
some
man.
guys just couldn't do that. A lot of guys can't play through contact. So like obviously you playing football, that carried over a lot.
Heavily.
You know what I'm saying?
I always had that mentality, bro. Like,
How'd your dad feel when you like
stopped?
stopped and went straight to?
So I wanted to play quarterback
How did you feel too?
when I stopped.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I was upset because I didn't want to play linebacker in high school. I wanted to play quarterback. You feel? Because again, that was the one
yeah.
position that my parent, my dad, my uncles
okay,
played
okay.
quarterback. And again, I could have been a basketball body type playing quarterback. I.e., y'all had Stuckey on.
Yeah,
Stuckey
yeah,
played both. You feel me?
Yeah,
Stuckey
true.
was tall. Stuckey was 6'4", 6'5", but he was a string bean. You know what I mean? He
Yeah,
loved
yeah,
stuff.
facts.
But he was able to do both because he was playing
Yeah,
quarterback,
yeah.
and that's okay.
That's so true.
At Boone, and Mo noticed because Mo went to Timber Creek, he played in the area and he could think back.
Yeah, yeah.
Boone football at the time was smash mouth,
Hard nose.
gritty,
Fullback.
3 yards in a cloud
I
of dust.
formation.
I formation. We handing this ball off to the running back.
Yeah. That's
And
6'4",
yes.
250.
Their
yeah.
goal, Boone's goal was, look, we need to get 3 to 4 yards on first down. We need to
Yeah.
get 3 to 4 yards on second down. That'll put us in a 3rd and 2. And we soft if we can't go get a 3rd and 2 first
Yeah,
down. You know what I mean? And move the ball down the field like that. That was the whole game plan, really. So honestly, playing quarterback at Boone would have been not really great for me anyway because you just
Yeah,
hand the
yeah.
ball off 30, 35 times a game. So, I mean, for me, it worked out in the best because I think I always enjoyed basketball a little bit more than football. Like football was a family sport, so I played a lot because that was what the family did. And I was good at it. That was a big part of what kept me going in football was just that I was good at playing the sport.
Yeah.
But I don't think I really enjoyed it the way I enjoyed playing
Basketball.
basketball. You know what I mean? Y'all been good at stuff in your life and you're like, oh, I did it just because I was
Yeah.
good at it. But maybe you didn't like get that fulfillment out
Facts.
of it. I got way more fulfillment out of seeing a ball go through the hoop.
Yeah, that's fire.
You so I was gonna ask you if you played basketball growing up, but I'm guessing you played football growing up to what age? Like what age did you start playing basketball? Like
So
you're a dual
I
sport
started-
athlete here, so did it start like at 8 as well, or was it like later on, like 11?
So I started playing football and basketball around the same age. So I started both of those at 8 years old when I first started playing tackle football in 2nd grade. And at the time, I played for the Azalea Park Panthers. Shout out to everybody that went to Colonial High School. Because the Azalea Park Panthers was Colonial High School's Pop Warner team. And I lived over still in Boone District, but Boone didn't have a Pop Warner football team. All they had was a city team. They had Junior Braves. And the city teams played in like all the city games. So if you know like, it used to be Junior Braves, Conway Falcons,
Okay.
all those teams that played in the city league played at the fairgrounds. So instead, we played Pop Warner, but I could only, in 2nd grade, it was only a 4th grade team. So I was a 2nd grader playing with the 4th graders, and I was just out there getting rocked.
Yeah, fact.
Man, what? I was getting rocked. Like, Deontay Harrison was on those teams. If y'all know Deontay, that went to FAMU. JT Torres was on those teams.
Deontay got a little brother, right?
Well,
older brother.
Older brother.
Okay,
His
that
older
was
brother
FAMU.
is
That's what I was thinking of.
Kevin
Okay,
Elliott.
okay.
You know Kevin Elliott that went
Yeah,
to
I
Colonial.
remember.
So that's when I started playing football. Like I said, again, I was out there getting rocked and getting thumped. And for anybody who knows my dad, like Miguel knows my dad's son, he's tough.
Oh yeah.
He's tough. Yeah, like he's like, you're not gonna cry, you're not gonna complain. Like they
Yeah,
hitting
yeah.
you hard, well, you need to hit harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no quitting now that you're out here. You can decide at the end of the season to not play no more
Bro,
if you don't want to play
it's
football
so tough
no more.
because bro, my son now is 6, and
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
You-
Where
you
I'm trying
getting
my
there.
best to not be the tough parent.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
It's hard because I don't want him to just.
Right.
You can't cry over everything, bro.
Yeah.
No.
So I'm like, get up.
Yeah, you like,
But
get
then
up.
my girl be like, yo, he's only. I'm like, yo, he's not a baby. I can't.
Trying to
get up.
find that line.
I can't. You know, I'm trying to find that
Trying to
line.
find
So I'm
that
laughing
line.
because I'm thinking about
Yeah.
your dad being tough. I'm like, he ain't doing nothing wrong. That's why you keep.
So my
him
dad,
tough, you know
right?
what
So
I'm
my
saying?
dad, well,
It's
yeah.
tough.
So my dad was on the
That's
whole
tough.
other side of that line. He didn't consider them things. He didn't
Yeah.
consider that line.
Yeah.
He was like, "We going." So then, like I said, I went from that whole environment of playing, and I mean, I used to be nervous as hell before football games, man. Like every
Oh,
time
bro,
we
I can only
played,
imagine.
when I was second
Me
grade,
too.
no,
My
third
first time,
grade,
I was scared as shit.
man, every time I used to play, and I've never told this before, besides to my friends, every time I used to play a football game when I was little, we would be like, we would warm up, and we do our high knees and our butt kicks and all that, get loose.
Yeah.
And then we come in a little, the little huddle before the game, have a little
Hype
cheerleaders,
into it.
run through that big tarp thing,
Yeah,
run out.
yeah.
Every time we would run through that tarp thing, I throw up.
Yeah,
Every time.
You know,
Every
Josh
time.
Allen throws
I
up
throw it
before
right,
the
I
game.
throw it right through the mouthpiece, everything. Right through the eye.
On the jersey?
But it was all water. It wasn't like food. It was just all water and liquid because I was so nervous.
Yeah,
and as a
yeah.
kid, I didn't know how to control my nerves, you know what I mean? Besides throw up. And then after I threw up, they knew BJ probably threw up. By the fourth game, they were like, he probably threw up on his way through the tarp. So we got to get him some water, some Gatorade before the kickoff.
And did you start?
Yeah, man. Hell yeah, I'll be right out there.
Fresh throw up.
I'll be right out there. We out there in white jersey.
Little linebacker.
White jersey.
Tough.
He ready to crack somebody for real. I gotta hit somebody now. I just threw up.
White jersey, big stain on it. Every
Did you
now
play
and then.
scared or did you just say, man, whatever, I got to do this?
Oh, I was because again, pop come into play because like a lot of kids play football and they be scared of like the contact and the hitting because that's
what I was.
That's the hardest part of football.
Yeah,
People don't
yeah,
realize it's the heat and the hitting. Them the two hardest parts. Like when it
Yeah.
really comes down to like how you feel, you know what I mean? Everything else is secondary. If you can deal with the heat and the hitting, especially in Florida, you can play football. But for me, I was more scared of my pop than anything
Was he
that
the
was
one
gonna
at
happen
the
on that
fence or
field.
was he at the top? What was he
Bro,
doing?
if you ever like,
was he on the
if you ever been
sideline?
in he was on the sideline, he was coach, bro. He was the coach.
Yo.
So if you've ever been on a team, or if you ever been in a neighborhood where it's like, look, if somebody take your bike, you better fight them to get it back.
Yeah.
Because if you come home, you getting, you know what I mean, you get what
yeah.
you getting at home anyway. That's how it was with me in football. I was gonna get out there and get rocked on that field and keep trying to hit the kids hard as hell because I knew over there it was gonna be hell to pay.
Yeah.
Because he was relentless. Like he yelled when you get to the sideline. He yelled leaving the game. He
Has
yelled
your,
at the
has
coach.
your dad
Yeah.
like now that because I feel like we're gonna get your accolades in college and
Yeah.
high school and everything right now, but before I get there, like I'm just curious, does your dad has he calmed down a lot in that? Because obviously
grown now,
you've done so much in your life.
Yeah.
It's amazing, by the way. But it's like, has he calmed down as an older man?
Yeah. I mean, the thing now is that it's just like, look, BJ grown, so yeah, I'm.
Then you got a
grown,
kid.
man.
Hey, listen, this is
But
the
when I
thing.
was little,
the
man,
day BJ has a kid, brings him home, your dad gonna be so soft with him.
He'll be so angry, isn't he?
Nah,
Ain't he
you gonna be
though?
like,
Gonna blow my mind, man. I'm gonna be like, where was this energy towards me? You know, hard
But
nosed little
but
BJ.
looking back at that, do you look at it and you're like, thank you? Or do you look back and you're like, damn, it was a little too
I
much?
look at it, man, like, and I have to thank my mom too, because my mom was the balance. So my mom was completely supportive of everything I did. She was my biggest cheerleader. She supported me through everything. She thought I could do it. Soft. She was the one who was always on my side and thought I could do anything I wanted to do. So I wouldn't have, I was equally as good at sports because both of my parents, my mom and my dad both equally. Because without my mom, I would have just went off the deep end. My head would have exploded with my pop.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't have been able to take it. I would have just been like, man, I'm just gonna do school, man, you know? But my mom was the one that like, whenever something happened, she'll keep me going and things like that. But definitely, man, I think what my dad taught me was, like, there was nothing that was gonna happen on the court, on the field, or anything that I was not gonna be able to handle. Because he had already kind of put me through that fire.
Mentally,
Yeah, there was nothing
emotionally.
there was nothing nobody could say to me on the field of the court. There was nothing nobody could do to me. There was nothing mentally that was gonna bother me
and also-
without
That's so
because he
fire.
really
Yeah.
had
I love
kind
that.
of
And
molded
outside-
me into that.
Outside looking in, like, it's your dad being tough.
Yeah,
You feel safe.
yeah.
It's like worst comes worst,
Yeah.
my dad's here. Like,
Yeah,
kinda
for
in a
sure.
sense, like,
Yes.
You know, I know it sounds kind of messed up to say, like,
Yeah.
because he's so tough. But sometimes when you're tough with your child,
Yeah.
your child might look at it like, well, if anything go down,
Yeah.
he's here. He gonna take care of me. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and I mean, and it is two things too that he also did. As tough as I'm talking about him being, and for any parent out there, their kid, right? Like obviously, like my dad was tough and things like that. Well, I mean, really three things. One, he was always there.
Facts.
He was always there, and that's a blessing. That's something I can never take for granted. My pop he ain't missed nothing. He ain't missed a game. He hardly missed a practice. He was present, right? So
Through
he wasn't
college?
college. He wasn't that dad that showed up, once every 4 weeks and then tried to, get on his kid. Like, well, you should be doing this. Kid, you ain't trying to hear that. You never hear. You know what I mean? You don't know how good I played last week. You know what I mean? Now you showing up this week. I played bad. You trying to tell me what to do. You ain't trying to hear that. That's one. Number two, nobody could talk bad about me in the stands or around him.
Yeah, yo.
He was gonna shut that down. So he could yell at me, and the other coaches on the coaching staff, like the other football coaches, whatever, they could say what they wanted to say. But a parent wasn't gonna be up there like this and that. He'd be like, hey, I don't talk about your son. That's how my dad talk.
Yeah.
I don't talk about your son. Don't talk about my son. You know what I mean?
Fair.
Fair, right?
Yeah.
You know, and then three, the thing that I did on my end when I was little, I told him I wanted to be good at sports. And I said, whatever it takes to be good, let's do it. That's big, because a lot of parents have a vision for what their kids should be and what they want their kid to be, and the kid ain't want that.
That's
Kid
incredible.
ain't asked for that life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want it every time.
That's incredible to
I
say
wanted
that.
He gave you what you wanted.
Gave me what I wanted. I asked him, I said, look, because we used to go to AAU games all the time, and I would watch all the older kids play. We go to football games, and you know, we talked about this. Like, we watched Demetrius Hart in high school and football, like all these guys, Shane Larkin at DP, all these guys that was good in the area, and I'd be like, man, I want to be like those guys. I want to be them dudes, you know? He's like, okay, well, this is what it's gonna take. And that was my choice. That's what I wanted. He didn't put that on me, you know? And a lot of times I see parents putting that on their kids, and it's like, you can't do that. If the kid don't want it.
Yeah, the kids are saying
Kid
the kid
don't
wants
want
it.
it, yeah.
You said it. If you want it, the kid wants it.
Yeah.
But sky's the limit. Every
Sky's the
time.
limit.
Every
When
time.
in your life did you realize that all those extra reps after practice with
Yeah.
your dad, when did you realize it started to like really flourish? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm really him. Like, you on the court and you like
Man,
doing things.
I had such a, so we talk about the football stuff, but when I was little, I had such a passion for basketball, man. It was unmatched. Like, I loved basketball books. I loved playing basketball at school. When we went to PE, I wanted to play basketball. When we had to write a 5-paragraph essay, you remember them 5-paragraph essays you used to have to write? I was gonna write
Intros,
a basketball.
outros.
I was gonna write a basketball story.
Yeah.
Intro, 3 paragraphs, conclusion is all gonna be about basketball. You know what I mean? I'd make up a whole mythical story about some fake middle schools or something that played against each other. That was gonna be my, whenever we had a free write, it was gonna be a basketball story. So that was one. And then, I mean, you talk about the extra reps too. I was always playing basketball at my house. Like, as soon as
Court in
I
the
was,
driveway?
man, what? I was in the driveway. Like, people that still live in my neighborhood tell me now, like, you really were out there all the time. But I wasn't even out there training, and that's the biggest thing. I was out there just
Having fun.
2, 1,
Bro.
miss. 3,
yes,
2,
for hours, you know, as like as a,
3, 2. Oh, like, where are the
smoke that
seconds?
thing. You keep missing that thing. You keep 3, 4 misses. You like, he gets the rebound and he puts it back up. Oh, he takes it out. You know what I mean? You be the switch team. You be the made the shot and then made the other game winner for the other team.
Exactly.
Man, so I was always out there just doing that, and that really, I think, molded my love for the game. That really created a foundation of just passion and enjoyment. You know, again, if we go back to a lot of kids, and I talked to a lot of parents today, like, oh, well, who'd you train with when you were in 5th grade, 6th grade, or who did you work? The concrete outside my house and basketball and some cones. You know what I mean? I didn't start training for basketball until I was 15, 16, like actually, and even then, I was like going to the YMCA with my dad. to
Yeah,
shoot
no,
hoop.
that also wasn't a thing growing up. Like, the game has evolved so much that every kid has shooting coaches and this, that.
It's becoming like baseball now. Where
Yeah,
you have to
yeah.
have a pitching coach and a hitting coach.
Yeah.
It's you know, and the thing I guard against with that is you got to let kids find a passion for the game, right? And I found my passion and love for it through watching it and admiring what T-Mac and those guys were doing, what Kobe was doing, what AI was doing, what D-Wade was doing. You know, when D-Wade was on the Heat in 2006 and they came back from down 0-2 and he had the Converse on with the black socks. Like, I went out and like told me
Did
that
the same
I need
thing?
all the same gear. I need all the same gear. Put it all on, you know. I remember watching Kobe when they beat the Magic, you know, when he won his first title without Shaq. Right, like all that love for the game stuff, you gotta let kids find that. Because if you put that on them too soon, bro, they're gonna get over. It's gonna be too much. They're not gonna want to play because they're not gonna like it. It's not gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Kids do stuff that they find enjoyable, right? Even when you add the work on top of what they find enjoyable, then that's when you teach the discipline. That's when you teach the work ethic. That's when you teach the accountability stuff, right? On top of something they already enjoy. If they don't enjoy it, you can't teach them that other stuff because now it's like a job.
Yeah.
You feel me? Things that we are accountable for, that we have a discipline, that we show up to do on time, and we don't like it, is most of the time our job. the only thing people do that for. But if kids with sports, they need to enjoy the sport.
How old were you when you told your dad, like, this is what I want to do? I want to go all the way. Like,
I mean,
don't care what it takes.
I was 9 years old when I first started playing AAU basketball, travel ball, and I was on a really good team. We had like 5 or 6 of my teammates all went D1 from when I was 9 years old. But that was really it when I was little. I was like, man, I want to be good at this.
Your
And it
senior
just
year,
kept growing,
your
man.
senior year at Boone High School, you put up some incredible stats.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, this man, I think it was like 34.5 points per game, most points by any player, and it was in the city, something like that.
Yeah, it was definitely led the state that year.
Yeah.
And it was some other stuff.
And
some
he,
other
and he
accolades
scored
along with it.
59 points his senior year.
Yeah.
He had 1,790
Wait,
points. I think it was.
Who was that against?
Brantley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, put that on Brantley.
Yeah, he went crazy.
Because I know you went crazy against Timber Creek senior year, too.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah.
30 something, right?
I had
He was
some on Timber Creek, yeah.
walking like, I'm talking
Y'all
every
was a
game
light
was
night, though.
30,
Y'all was-
30, 40,
Yeah.
40.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all was
tough.
like a middle
That
of
was
the
it.
January
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
It was
I'm
like,
sure your
we were
senior
late in the
year-
season.
Yeah, okay. Next
I'm
school.
sure your
Next
senior
school.
year.
I got a
your
story for that,
dad-
though. I got a story for that,
Hey,
though.
I'm sure your senior
Timber
year.
Creek.
We gotta hear this story. I'm sure your senior year, your dad was like, "Oh, he picked the right sport."
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'll tell you again. Like,
Hooping.
But that was like years and years of work.
Of course.
But that was like me just completely letting go of. I had committed to college. I knew I was going to UCF by then.
Oh, you already committed senior year?
I already committed. I committed in August.
Did you get the first offer?
When I get my first offer?
When? What year?
10th grade, Miami.
Nice.
Crazy. Miami was the first school to offer me
Yeah,
because
that's
then a
crazy.
bunch of other schools that were under Miami offers you.
Yeah.
You don't know how offers work. It's kind of how it goes. If
Yeah.
a bigger school offers you,
Then
then
you keep
typically
getting
the other
it.
schools are like,
Yeah,
well, if
yeah.
it's good enough for them, then he's good enough for us.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, the senior year, that was just like unleashed me, you know, because I knew I was going to college.
Hey, you got Miami sophomore year?
I had Miami, yeah. Jim Larinaga still the coach.
I told you to stop
Yeah,
playing
Jim
with my
Larinaga
boy,
still the
man.
coach.
So,
Yeah.
And yeah, I was
That's
just,
great, man.
our team around me wasn't great at scoring. I'll say that. We had a bunch of guys that were good at other things. Like they were good at rebounding and they were good at like playing hard on defense and you know, like swinging it over my
A lot of
way.
football
like, we was
guys.
good.
You hear a lot of football guys.
Yeah, we had 3 or 4 football players. We had 3 seniors who knew they weren't basketball
Yeah.
players. Like they knew they were going to college on academics the next year. So it was really like, and then we got me. So it was like we just gonna swing it my way.
You letting it fly.
And let me rock out. And we played Lake Highland Prep in a fall league game, and I got double teamed in the fall league game, like the whole game, and I just kept passing the ball out, right? Like what you do when you double team, it's the right play to make. I passed the ball out to my teammates, somebody would shoot it, we wasn't scoring. And again, you know, Pop's like, look, man, if you don't work harder to get the basketball after you give it up on a double team, y'all not gonna win very many games this year. And I had like 20-something in that fall league game. I just had a good night. And he was like really upset about that. Like you really had 20-something because you just let them double team you. And I had never thought of that. Like, dang, I don't have to just accept the double team. And then that's how the rest of the senior year came along, because from that point on, you couldn't just double team me, and that was the game. If you double team me, I'll swing it out, I'm going back to get it off a handoff, and then I'm getting downhill.
You're
right?
Kobe.
Because again,
Kobe,
it's high school ball, so
That's
it's
it.
like,
That's it.
I'm a senior, and I'm playing against 11, 10, 12
Nah,
other
you
graders.
were saying you're a fan of Kobe. I'm like, I remember watching Kobe like
Yeah.
that. Like you doubling him, he's just looking at you.
I'ma figure it out.
Kick it, get it
Yeah.
right back. I feel like he said off of screens,
Yeah.
down screens.
We gonna figure this out.
Yeah,
And that was the thing, so we figured it out,
It was
and-
like you just got tired for no reason. You shouldn't have
Yeah,
double teamed.
yeah, bro. So that senior year was a good year. My high
So
school
you
coach
had
called me about that
committed
the
to
other day.
UCF junior year.
Yeah.
So then you
No,
played.
I committed right after the first semester basically of high school.
So like in the beginning,
Senior year.
like August.
Yeah, senior
so
year,
the
so
beginning
that first
senior year,
quarter.
you committed,
Right when football season starts, I committed
and
to
you go through the
UCF.
whole high school
Yeah.
career knowing you're gonna go right.
Yeah.
But you were playing a man on a mission for a while too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
How did you get on that team?
That was Austin Rivers' team. So Austin Rivers, man on a mission. I played AAU ball with his little brother growing up, his little brother Spencer Rivers.
Spencer,
and
yeah.
from 9 years old to 12 years old, we were on the same AAU team. And then 7th and 8th grade, we weren't on the same team. Then once we were 15 and 16 again, so 9th and 10th grade, we got back on the same AAU team. And then our last year of AAU ball, because everybody plays AAU up until the senior year, Austin created his own AAU team and we played for his AAU team. But that was just all through the relationship with the Rivers, who I've known since I was real young, man.
That's
Spencer was
fire.
my close
Yeah,
friend.
that's cool.
Spencer was
That's
my
cool. South
close
Bend,
friend
South
through high
Bend, yeah.
school. And then Austin, me and him close.
Did
so.
you watch Austin play when you were a kid too?
Yes. He was a huge
did too.
motivator. He inspired everybody. I was young. Everybody was younger than him, and even not just, especially in Florida. If you were in the
He
area
ran
who got to
the
see
O.
him play live, it was
Yeah.
unbelievable. It was incredible. I mean, he inspired a
I'm
lot
on his
of dudes.
mixtape. I'm on his mixtape in the crowd.
Right, and that's how he inspired.
Seriously. And
I
he
mean, and
dunked on, what was like his name? DJ?
He dunked on a lot.
Yeah, he
of
dunked.
I said, shoot. I said, you
the
don't
biggest thing I can say for him is that one, he worked extremely hard. Like Austin put the time in, because he always was going to not just be, the name is why people think he's good. No, he was gonna go out there and show you. And I mean, he would dog dudes, really just destroy guys. I watched him demoralize people, not just in high school, but in like AAU games where they were playing like. He's the top player in the country, and now
Everybody
they're playing the
coming to
number
see.
7 player in the country. He was going
Crazy.
give him that. Yes, that was like he was mad that they were even trying him. But this guy's supposed to be as high as me.
Talking about being a dog, you get to college.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about college. Your freshman year, you get there. There were some changes from your freshman year to your senior year in coaching and stuff, and that does sometimes affect players.
Yeah.
But you also had some injuries in there as well, right?
Yeah,
And I didn't know you played both sides of football.
I
You
did.
know what I'm saying?
I was in high school though. Yeah.
Do you feel like sometimes contact sports, can lead to injuries later on in life?
I don't know if my
I'm
injuries.
not saying it
yeah,
was
I don't know
because
if
of
my
that. I just wonder
injuries
about
was
that.
related to that, but I think AAU basketball, as many games as you play now, it's a
They
problem.
play so many games now.
It's a problem
bro.
with the system. You play
And they
3
play
or
in
4
like
games.
4 or 5 different leagues. It's not
And I-
just
yeah,
it's
and
not
so
limited.
I-
It's not
yeah.
like, and for baseball, you're limited how much you can pitch in Florida. You can play all year long, but there's like a pitch count for kids.
Yeah.
So your kid can only pitch this many. So like good pitchers in baseball only play so many games.
Yeah.
In basketball, they let you
Football
play
and
as much
7-on-7.
as you
They
want.
let
You
you
can
keep
play.
going.
You can play 4 games Saturday, 4 games Sunday, 2 different
He
teams.
plays for two
Yeah.
different teams. Dudes
Yeah.
be playing.
It's crazy.
Dude be 12 and
now.
under. Dude be
Yeah.
12 and under, and he also play up with the 14 and
Yeah, the
under.
14
Like,
under.
you play a lot of games, but I think playing that much basketball can put a lot of wear and tear on your body just because it's that many games. You're young, and most of the guys that play AAU do this from 9 years old to 17 years old.
I like
So
to
that's a
ask
long
this.
time.
I like to ask this to college players. What was your favorite class in college?
My favorite class.
Yeah, gotta be one.
Shoot.
None.
Right? Open. Open. My favorite class was the walk-to class. Walking class was great. Yeah. Shoot. Walking class was great.
Getting out of
My
class.
best part was on the way there, getting out. Those was my
Seriously.
favorite 2 parts.
What was your GPA in high school? You had a high GPA?
I was good enough. I did.
3?
I
You was in the 3s?
was in high school.
Yeah, I know that's easy for people. That wasn't easy for me, bro. I wasn't a 3.0 guy. Like, I was a 2.2 guy. alright?
You was missing homework.
Yeah, I
man.
just wasn't doing it.
You know how if you like in the 2s in high school, that means your homework was.
I was
missing.
like this in class.
Yeah, you was not.
Sleep getting kicked out.
Yeah, you was
one of
not.
them
See,
guys.
I was scared. I couldn't go to sleep.
If I was a football player,
I
you know,
was
we got
weak.
special treatment. You know what I mean?
I was weak. Oh yeah, y'all football always get that.
I did nothing and got a C.
But I mean, favorite class. Probably trying to think back to something.
You gotta think of math class, English. Could have been a girl in the class with you. It don't gotta be the actual class.
Man.
It don't gotta be the subject. You
All,
get what I'm
all you
saying?
know
Every
what?
class
All
had
the classes that
something.
UCF
It could have been
were-
professor.
were real-
something
all the
in
classes that UCF was real beneficial.
Yeah.
Man. They all helped grow you into a well-rounded
What'd you go?
person.
What was your major while you were playing?
Business.
Business.
Business,
That's
yes.
great.
I did a lot of math classes, man. I always liked math more than writing. I didn't like to
I agree.
write long
I agree.
papers. You know, I didn't like to type long papers. I wasn't up for that. I'd rather do math. And also math had an answer. You know, so like you ever thought about you write a paper and you turn it in. It's kind of up to the teachers.
So teachers, yeah. 100%.
Discretion, like her opinion of whether or not
Yeah,
you did a good job
How
on your
they,
paper.
how they grade. When you get to college, it really comes down to how they grade. Like, it's
Yeah,
up
like
to
this
them,
was
like,
the this
what they are
was the
looking for.
this
Yeah.
was the rubric. I don't think you hit the. At least in math, I knew like okay, the answer was 14. I put 18. I was wrong. You know what I mean? I had,
true,
I had
true,
a clean
true.
I had a clean answer.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't like the
How
papers.
was it? How was it? And you know, you're probably one of the few examples, but because it's so rare that you can be the hometown hero, the hometown kid that was.
Yeah.
He led the school in scoring. He led the state in scoring. I think it was points per game.
Yeah.
And it's like now you get to stay in Orlando and for UCF. How was that feeling? Being able to stay here.
It was awesome.
I thought it was
It
incredible.
was
I remember hearing
awesome.
that,
It was
being like,
awesome.
"Man."
Now I'll say this: it wasn't cool at the time.
I was about to say, I had to say that.
Keep it real. Yeah, keep it real.
yeah.
It wasn't cool. It was awesome once it all played out. But no, when I was in high school, that was not cool to do. Going to UCF was not dope.
It was like, all
was
right,
not-
all right, cool to see you, brother.
Yeah, I used to
might
go
catch
to
a game.
Yeah, but like most kids, they had never even been to UCF's campus. You know, it was even with us. Like we all from Orlando. You were either a Florida fan or a Florida State fan.
Yeah,
Those were the two schools you rooted for. Everybody
Yes.
you knew went to school with you was
Yeah.
one of those two.
I get what you're
Really?
saying.
Or you
For
had the
basketball,
occasion.
Florida has been such a big school, bro.
Yeah,
The
or you
Gators.
were the occasional Miami fan would be out there, like their dad, they were from Miami or something, whatever. But you really weren't a UCF fan, bro. And it wasn't until like once I got there, and you know that was kind of the thing with me and Adonis when we first went there. We were like, we're gonna turn this whole thing around. And then you get to college, you're like, it's a little bit harder than that. You
Yeah.
know, like SMU has good players out in Dallas, and Temple has good players up in Philly, and all these other schools we play in. Memphis has good players in Memphis. You ain't finna just come in and turn it around like that.
Did you redshirt?
But once I got injured my sophomore year. I missed that season. Okay. So that was the year our coach that recruited me that got fired, and then we got Johnny Dawkins in, who's still the coach now, going into his ninth season. And once he came in, we had a new athletic director come in. Football team changed coaches from O'Leary, and O'Leary obviously had a historic run, but it was time to get a breath of fresh air in there. It all just kind of snowballed, right? Like we all hit at the same time. Basketball team was good. We go to Madison Square Garden, NIT, make a big run. Then next year, football team goes undefeated, right?
It was popping out
national
here.
champs, all that. The next year is when we make the run in March Madness and all that. So it just all kind of snowballed into kind of this golden era of UCF athletics.
I remember I was on a cruise and you guys were playing Duke that year. And
You were on the cruise for that game?
I was on a cruise for that game. And
I was at Social House.
I had to pay the bartender on the cruise
put the game
$100
on?
because he was only playing. There was 2 games on, right, and they were right here, and they were all like Dukies.
Really?
And like I know you
Yeah,
personally,
you
right?
know, yeah.
And I remember seeing Johnny Dawkins' son, Aubrey, come to
Yeah,
get
I mean, AJ wasn't on that team, but you knew AJ.
And I knew AJ
Yeah.
and stuff. And bro, I remember I got so upset. Like I've never been so mad. Maybe I was drinking. I don't think I was drinking, but I was so mad that all these
That'll do
Dookies
it.
were here. I told Gibbs got $100 bills on pocket. I was like, put the game on this side.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to sit with them. He was like,
Oh,
why?
okay. I was about
Because
to
they
say,
were all
what do you
Dookies.
mean?
They
Well,
all
the
were
Dookies,
I know
yeah.
it wasn't on the screen.
yeah, and I was already hot because every time I'm watching the game as a friend. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, that's like when you watch as a friend, everything's a foul. That's a foul.
You know Miguel. Miguel ain't
I'm
biting
like,
his
hell
tongue.
no.
He's not biting his tongue.
I'm like, especially
he ain't gonna sit there just calm.
Yeah, they were
Why?
old. They were like old guys being Duke fans. I slapped the hell out.
Yeah.
I slapped the age out of all you. I was so
Yeah.
tight. Not that I was, but you know, in the
was
moment,
at
I
social
was
Game
house.
so
was crazy. That was a crazy game.
Yeah.
That's the game I get asked about most. Of
course.
Duke game and
That was the last game,
crazy.
I mean, that was
last game. Yeah.
That was a very good basketball game.
It was a
like
great game.
for what it was, you gotta think about it, that was a very good basketball game. Taco was playing. I thought Taco for sure got over the back twice, man. When I don't want to,
Go to rundown.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, for sure, I watched that game like 3 times. Like on
Crazy
YouTube,
game.
watching it like, nah.
It's a crazy game. I mean, you had Taco, who's obviously 7'6", shot blocker, and this whole season has been basically based around Zion Williamson and how great he is at attacking the rim and dunking. So you have the 7'6" guy who blocks shots going against Zion Williamson, the dunker, the powerful guy. That was a matchup.
I thought
Dawkins-
I thought he got fouled initially prior to the shot.
who, me?
No, you for sure on the other side.
did?
But Zion.
Oh, yeah.
So he got fouled,
Yeah.
right? It was on a reach. They should have called it there and got an inbound on the side.
Mm.
But they waited for him to get to the hole because they weren't in the bonus yet.
Yeah.
And then that's when they waited for him to drive to Taco's chest, which Taco had the placement. He just had long arms.
Yeah.
And then he bumps him in the chest and they call a foul. And I was upset about that because I was the whole time like, yo, bro, like if you're gonna call it, give him an inbound play. You know what I'm saying? And then he got his free throws. They went up 1. Then it went to the other side. He got fouled on the drive prior. And then he got fouled again and didn't call it. I remember watching it, bro.
It's crazy.
That
was the greatest game in school history.
Crazy game. Yeah.
And we lost.
So like I said, that came off that was the next year after the football team had went undefeated and beat
How was it
Auburn.
being a
in
college
the Peach
athlete,
Bowl.
like-
at that time?
Just being a
Or just
college
in
athlete
general?
in general, it's kind of cool. Like, how was that? I'm not a college athlete.
Hometown hero,
Like,
too. I mean,
Yeah,
top
I
of the world,
got
okay?
stories.
Hey, I'm
You
here.
that's what I'm saying.
I
Got
say it was
stories
fun.
for
though.
you.
It was fun.
I
It was
witnessed
fun.
the stories.
It was great. I mean,
What
it
about
was-
like
It was great. I mean, for me, I'll say this. I was and everybody who knows me knows this. I was big on keeping the main thing, right? So I was gonna work out. I was in the gym. Nobody was gonna put more time in the gym than BJ. I kept the main thing. And then I wasn't a partier in college. I didn't go to like the local bars, and I wasn't a drinker. I wasn't a smoker. So I pretty much just used to play basketball and then just hang out.
How did you,
know what I mean?
how did you maintain your figure?
Working out?
Just because I feel like you played football your whole life. You always say you were bigger. Like,
Yeah,
you're a
right.
thumper. And
Yeah.
like, bro, college
Good
basketball
question,
is
good
tough to stay skinny.
A
bro.
good question.
Because you're getting older. Body's gonna start to change.
Yeah.
And then you gotta start saying no to certain foods.
was
There's
hard-
certain
it was-
times you're
yeah.
hungry, you gotta stay hungry.
You didn't say no to certain foods, man.
Me?
Yeah, did you?
Nah,
yeah, hell.
I'm just
I
saying,
was
like,
a
it
workout.
gotta be
I was a
hard.
workout
Yeah.
guy. I was
Yeah,
gonna
no.
work.
You
I was
probably was
sweat
gonna
it.
work that out though. Yeah.
I was gonna
Yeah, I
sweat it.
remember.
I was gonna work it out. I was gonna.
But you wasn't
sweat.
eating Papa John's at 2 a.m.
I was never a big pizza guy though.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Hey,
was a pizza guy. I was
hey,
a burger guy.
offensive
I was a
lines?
burger guy.
Oh, really?
I was a
Hey.
burger man.
Okay, see,
From where though? From where though?
Anywhere. I was a burger man.
Burger Fight,
Bar
Burger Fight, it's
Louie's,
like
Wendy's. I was a burger man.
I got a question. So when Coach came in, Coach Dawkins, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was your junior year?
By the way, the diet thing, that's pretty much everybody. Like most of the dudes
Nobody,
in college.
yeah, I know.
In college, they don't. Most dudes just be eating. Even the coaches, they're like
You
after
know
the
what I
game.
wanna-
Even
you know
after
what I
the
wanna bring
game.
up
Even
too.
after the game, the coaches will like get barbecue that's nothing but chicken and fries, and like and they'll be all on the bus for you. They don't be not in college at least. Once you get to the pros, then that changes a little.
Yeah, but tell me how it was when Dawkins came in. Did you know who Dawkins was first of all?
Yeah, I did. I knew some. I didn't
He's
know
like-
as much
he's
as
like a
I knew.
high-profile-
He was at Michigan State.
He was at Stanford. He was at
Yeah, his
Stanford.
son was at Michigan State.
He's at
right?
Michigan. He was just at Michigan,
Michigan,
regular
okay.
Michigan.
Okay.
He
But
was a high profile coach when he came in.
he was. He was.
They
He
were
was big
talking
time.
about him.
Played
Yeah.
at Duke, right?
He was Duke's first big time recruit, and he was the guy that Coach K will say helped him keep his job.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because this was like the middle of the 80s. This was like 1985.
Yeah.
And Coach K was like, this is the first big time McDonald's All-American we got. And he was their first, I think, one of their first All-American players, at least one of their first National Player of the Years, the only 2-time National Player of the Year. He was a big time player.
Yo,
Was
he,
it-
He always looked like. Sorry, real quick.
Keep it going.
Because I think about your dad. Was he like tough like your dad? Because he like I never
John-
got a
they-
chance to
they was
talk
on the
to him.
same- so that's the thing.
He kind of always come. Remember, he used to come into the shop. He was like,
He was stern, very stern,
Nothing wrong with
serious
that,
man.
nothing wrong with that, yeah.
But a lot of
gotta
them
be.
old
Especially
school
kids,
brothers,
young
man. Them
kids,
old school
yeah.
brothers, man. They seen a lot.
Yeah.
Right? They seen a lot of things growing up, man. That kind of molded them into this,
this figure, yeah.
no nonsense.
Yeah.
Because things back then,
No,
things was
yeah.
different.
It was
And
different.
especially for their parents and the things they went through, it was just like, look, be serious, be on top of your stuff, and that's kind of that's just how they are. But that's why it was easy for me to play for him.
I was gonna say,
He
was it
had
easy
that
just to
similar
buy
pop.
in? You just bought right in? Was it
Hell
just
yeah,
the
bro,
whole team?
because we were bad.
Yeah.
When I first
you
got
guys
there.
were not relevant.
No, we weren't.
At all, bro.
So, and that's
You used to come to the barbershop. What's up, bro?
that's it.
You
We
know,
weren't
and then
good.
y'all started winning. It's like, what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? It was
Crazy how
different.
when they
like,
changed that.
But
man.
Yeah, it was
I think it's
crazy.
like that for anybody, bro.
Everybody
it's
loves
like
to
for
win.
every sport. Football team used to be.
I'm saying anything in
Nobody
general.
cared.
Like a barber, you could be a great barber, and until you start being busy every day, nobody is looking at your haircut.
Value,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's no value in it.
Nope.
Wait, you've always been.
You can
there.
have the
You
same
just now
talent.
got more clients. Yeah,
You got the
talent's always
same
been there.
talent.
You could be
Yeah.
better.
You could be.
You could be better. Just soup them in the back of the shop, and nobody knows who you are.
Yep,
You know what I'm saying?
yep. Everybody loves a winner. Never forget it. Everybody loves to win until the victor goes to spoil. So, if you winning, you can't be mad at people that's.
How was the first game with Dawkins?
First game?
Yeah, first game.
It went okay. It went cool. We had worked so hard, man, over the summer. He had put us through these crazy 5 a.m. runs on the track, 6 a.m. on the court, and we only had 8 scholarship players that year, man. So the biggest thing for me was that he saw the work I put in, so he trusted me. He saw how serious I was about the game and how good I wanted to be at it, and how much I was like gonna lead the team and make good decisions. So he trusted me with the ball. So that made things a lot better for us. But our relationship just grew from that first year when I was a sophomore to about a senior year. He was like, look, BJ should be able to be basically knowing what we got to do in practice, know what we should run on the court. He just basically trusts me.
So you never thought about leaving UCF?
No, I never thought about leaving UCF because that's not what I did growing up.
I was gonna say you're part of the last era.
That wasn't
of
my life.
guys.
Yeah.
Of guys like from in high school that don't just go to like an IMG or just a
We
pop in
talked-
school
yeah, we talked about
in
it
high
off the
school.
air.
Yeah, like now it's just like
That wasn't the thing.
guys just
It's
team
so
up
tough,
everywhere now,
yeah.
even in high school.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah, and my people wouldn't let me do that. So like even going back to high school, when I told you I played JV in ninth grade basketball, and again for any kid that plays JV as a ninth grader, that's great. Keep going,
Yeah,
keep
it is.
building your skill set. I talk about it like it's a bad thing because I wanted to play varsity. But I remember we played Timber Creek at Timber Creek when I was in ninth grade JV, and I played. I got busted up by like this kid who was either a 10th grader or 11th grader. You know, like one of them high schoolers. He was just older than me. He was like bearded up and grown. I had like barely any armpit hair. I was just a little chubby little basketball playing kid. But he was faster, so he was running all down the court with the ball, scoring, making layups, and he busted me up. And we got in the car, and my pops was like, "You ain't leaving. You're not leaving Boone. There's 3 or 4 juniors and seniors that's gonna be there next year ahead of you. So if you wanna play on a varsity team and actually get time, you better go put the work in." And so for me, that was kind of was like a mantra for everything I did. It was put more work in, put more time in, get more committed, find ways to create an advantage. And like I said, I was a JV player, and by the time I was a 10th grader, I was our starting point guard, hands down, no question. So running was never an option for me. Leaving UCF wasn't really ever a consideration like that. There were schools that tried to poach me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was some big schools that tried to
Talking
poach
to
me.
your dad and stuff.
Tried to poach me.
I
but
want to have his dad on the
I'm
show. I want to meet
You know,
this
it's
guy.
crazy too.
My
He
pop-
comes
my
from an
pop's
era.
so
He comes from an
stern,
era
man.
where there was
So
no
stern.
NIL deals. It was.
Still to
That's
this
why I'm
day.
so. But that's why I'm like, oh, he's still starting to
Nah, it makes a lot of sense to see how you are,
That's-
man.
and
Like
he
you're
did
hearing about
25
that.
years
You know,
of
we
life
never
he
talked about
learned,
you.
bro,
You
you
told
know
me a
what
little bit about your
Yeah.
dad, but like now I'm hearing stories and stuff, and
I was
I can
gonna
see
say,
why you came out the way you are, man.
He
You know what
played
I'm
in an
saying?
era where there was no NIL deals. So like you could have easily got in trouble if you got a free haircut. You could have got in trouble if you went to get a free burger at 2 a.m.
Yes.
Like, bro, burger, like you're hungry, that you have to. He's a free bag of fries.
yeah, that
Dude
was a
ran
different
for
time.
3
Yes.
hours, want some fries.
But
You
isn't
got in
that
trouble.
crazy?
This is crazy.
That's crazy with the climate, because like he said, we couldn't get free cuts.
Free nothing,
It was
bro.
anything. You couldn't take a player to Chipotle and be like, oh, we went together. Miguel, my friend, and my
Yeah.
barber. We go to Chipotle. We in line together, and he's like, oh, no, it's cool. Just put them together. Just because we both there together.
yeah.
He's like, I know he not in college making money. I'm just gonna pay for his
Yeah.
$10. That'd be a compliance issue.
Yeah.
To think now, it's
Doesn't matter.
dudes
You
getting
could have
all
gotten in trouble
this
with
money.
something so
I was
small
giving
like
free
that,
cuts to
bro.
the football player. I need my bread back. my bread back. What's up with
You
these
ain't
guys?
getting free cuts no more. You
But-
ain't getting free cuts no
Nah,
more.
nah.
Hey,
they
no,
can't.
but that's what I'm saying.
Impossible.
But that's what I'm saying. Now you could probably work someone with a player, and you can say, "Oh, you're
Post
a
and
you're a
stuff
player.
like
Hey,
that.
all you
Yeah.
gotta do is post me time
It's
to
a
come
great
at you for free."
deal. It's
You
a
get what I'm
great
saying?
deal. Heck
It's a
yeah.
small deal, but it's a good deal, right?
Man, every
Back then,
college-
you couldn't even do that. You
and
couldn't
like-
even give your barber
Yep.
a shout out. They'd be like, "Why'd you give him a shout out?"
Yeah.
Bro, it was hard, bro. And
makes
that's
sense now.
That's another thing too. Like these kids nowadays just lack gratitude. They lack gratitude. They have
It's a
they should
takers.
be they should be
Takers, a lot of
thankful and
times.
grateful for what they have.
Yeah.
And most of them just like are taking it for granted. I'm like, I met great people through BJ. I met Daquan Walker. I met AJ. I knew AD.
The
for a long
relationships,
time.
man.
Well, these are great people, bro. That none of them are ungrateful. They're all like real hard nosed, show a lot of gratitude. And you look at the kids now, you're like, yo, y'all better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just a lot of the environment now is just what can you do for me? Like what can you
Yeah,
give
yeah,
me? What can
yeah.
you do for me? I'm the commodity. You know what I mean? There's no requirement they feel a lot of times to give something back. That this is a two-way street, right? You know, the humility's got to get back into it. And if it doesn't, even if you look at a lot of the best players now, man, like a lot of those best players still have that. You know, like there's a reason why there's some of the best players. The guys who lack that humility, the guys who lack that gratefulness, kind of what you talked about, the gratitude, you're gonna have a short run. You know,
Short
one,
run.
because
You stop working.
You stop working. Two,
Stop working.
people don't like you.
Yeah.
And if people don't like you, that's really hard to be successful
How
in.
was
because
it-
people
I deal
don't
with it
wanna-
all the
because people
time,
don't want to
bro.
help you.
I do it all the time.
I was
I
gonna
wanna
say
help
because
you.
I
It's
know
disgusting.
I know you
I
went
don't
to the
wanna
G
be in your
League.
face,
I wanna
bro.
be
Get off
around
me.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
I was
hate
gonna
it,
say,
bro.
I know you went to the G League afterwards,
Yeah.
after your senior year, and how was that being there with so many people? Because I'm sure some of them were like,
Yeah.
I deserve to be here. Some
Yeah.
of them are like probably not taking it for granted. Like, man, bro.
Yeah. I mean, at the G League, you just find all the grinders, man. You find all the people that's trying to keep their dream alive, keep something that we all had kind of wanted to be, which is an NBA player since you were little, right? And I mean, you really, once you get to that point, you really see how difficult it can be to make it, right? Whether it's the NBA, the NFL, MLB, you know, if you're on a practice squad, if you're a minor league player in baseball, it's challenging, man, because there's only so many spots. Everybody can't make it. Like in basketball, there's probably 450 players in the NBA, including the two ways. There's probably 1,000 players right now in the world that are good enough to be in the NBA. Probably 1,000. 100 or so are guys that are on the back end of their careers and played in the NBA a while and are older. But there's 500 or so guys overseas that are good enough to be in the NBA.
There's a lot of guys overseas that are crazy.
They're great. You just can't. Everybody can't go.
Sometimes it feels like it's, and I don't want to be the conspiracy theorist, but it does feel like they pick who they want to represent, or what the picture they're trying to show, or the story they're trying to tell. It almost feels like a Broadway play. It's just because there is real talent overseas. A kid that can play, and there's some guys that don't belong in the NBA that are in there because their uncle or their cousin or the managers, and you'd be there like, bro shouldn't be in the league right now.
The timing of stuff matters, man. Who's on a team? What position you play? What's your role gonna be? That's the biggest thing.
They might not need a point guard.
What's your role gonna be? Well, yeah. If you were trying to get on to the Dallas Mavericks, they don't really need a point guard. They have Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. They also don't really need somebody to score points for them.
And they got Klay Thompson.
They don't really need a guy to score points for them. You can be the best scorer in college basketball right now. You can do nothing for the Dallas Mavericks. They don't need more points.
Rob Dillingham. Rob Dillingham was on the Timberwolves, but then they made that blockbuster trade for DiVincenzo and Julius Randle. Yeah. They still got Alexander. They still got McDaniels. Yeah. So he didn't play for 6-7 games. And I'm saying that, is he hurt? And it was like, coach was like, no, I gotta work my veterans in. You know what I'm saying?
It matters.
He's a rookie. He's gonna get his burn. Yeah. But I gotta work my veterans in because we just traded for these guys. It's a contract. It's, like you said, right place, right time.
Right place, right time, man. Yeah. If you trying to land a contract, if you're like a college guy trying to get a team, you got to star in some sort of role. So you got to be the defender. You got to be the rebounder. You got to be the lockdown perimeter guy. You got to be the knockdown, standstill, 3-point shooter, right? And be an expert at those things. Be phenomenal at that one thing, right? You are a great shooter. You are a great rim protector. You are a great perimeter defender. Right, they don't need a guy that we think we found the next Kyrie Irving. If you don't go top 3 or 4, they're not drafting you to be that. No. Even the guys that are going top 3 or 4 nowadays, a lot of times they're not drafting those guys to be that. So you really got to be good at what it is that you do. We had a guy at UCF, Taylor Hendricks, who got drafted the year before last season.
Yeah, the Magic passed on him. He got drafted. Damn good player. I watched that, Jeff. I was so
damn good player. UCF didn't call a play for him hardly. They didn't run the offense through him, but he went lottery and he went top. He maybe went top 10, but he definitely went top 14. He went 7.
I know.
Because teams knew how he was fit.
The Magic went at 6, Anthony Black. Nothing wrong with him. But they went at 6, Anthony Black. And I was just like, no.
He's playing well, too.
Yeah, he's not playing bad. But I was just like, no, we should have got Taylor Hendricks.
Yep.
And then Utah, who was the ex-GM for the Celtics? Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge goes Taylor Hendricks. I'm in the gym lifting, bro, at this point. This is when I was working out like crazy. I'm lifting. I got so mad, bro. I was lifting.
This was Lake North Performance Center days.
Nah, a little before that too. This is like, because at the time I think I was going to 24 Hour Fitness too. So I think I was at 24 Hour Fitness with my boys. We were lifting and I was doing incline press. And I remember I had my headphones on and I was like, what? And then Taylor Hendricks went at 7. And then he just got hurt, man.
He did. God bless him. Yeah, he had a bad injury, but he'll be all right.
And then they went Jet Howard. Both, by the way, Anthony Black and Jet Howard are amazing players. 11. I think it was Jet Howard 11 to then like 6. That. Yeah, because then at 12 they went Keontae George. Danny Ainge.
Yeah. But most of the guys they drafted, man, you gotta fit in the role.
That goes to go. They just didn't need Taylor. They had like a lot of forwards.
They got Jonathan Isaac. They had Paolo. They had Franz. They were like, he's just gonna clog up what we already have.
They just didn't need it.
Yeah.
But it just, it happens. I was gonna say, you got into broadcasting. And you do that right now full time. You're very well spoken, so obviously to me it sounds like it's like a natural talent. Yeah. Did you always know you wanted to do that, or was it just come like?
No. I was just telling you, man, off camera that when I was in college, I would do like a lot of the interviews, or they would send me out for the pressers. And when a lot of times when I do the interviews, the media would be like, "Hey, man, when you're done playing, you should get into broadcasting, sports broadcasting, sports analyst." And at the time, 21 years old, I'm like, man, I'm going to the league, man. Yeah, maybe in my 40s, I'll circle back on y'all, you know what I mean? Hit y'all up then. But again, as we know, life happens, things happen, injuries, things go different ways in your career. And I was like, you know what, they did tell me to go into sports broadcasting. I should try to get that a try. And basically, man, I started doing some podcasts that were UCF based. That parlayed into me being on Orlando Sports Talk Radio as a guest host, talking college basketball, NBA, WNBA, things like that. And that's how I got to ESPN and CBS Sports broadcasting for college hoops.
You're just so very well educated when it comes to sports too, because you played point guard and you just
Talk a
you
lot,
really
yeah.
like you know how to speak, but you also like are captivated when you're talking about the plays and this is the formation we ran. It's like it comes natural. Well, I feel like that's a big part of broadcasting. Like sometimes I'm watching the game and I'm blanking out and I need someone to like guide me through the game. You know what I'm saying?
I listen
As funny as it
because
sounds,
again,
but it's the
growing up
truth,
in my house, like I would talk. I would speak when I was spoken to, you know what I mean? But I listened a lot. So I think I got good at speaking by listening to people talk. You know, they say like the best way to learn is to listen. If you just run your mouth all the time, you're not learning nothing, you know? So I just used to listen to a lot of people talk, and I think that's how it kind of has got all up in my head now.
Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you think you're a coach? Like you would get into coaching eventually? I'm sure you got a kid. It's coming. The day you have a kid.
I coach, I'm gonna coach in some respect, whether it's, you say, coaching son or daughter, youth teams, whether it's getting back into college basketball as a coach, high school basketball as a coach, something like that. I'll get into coaching. College basketball right now is just such a crazy environment with the NIL and regulations and just the whole uncertainty they have around the sport. Like Mo Cuts, you know, a lot of the coaches that work in college, they're at UCF and things like that right now, and they obviously love, you know, being a coach, but there's a lot of things right now that is just irks a lot of people in the business.
So tough when they redshirt and leave the next year. That is so tough.
Do you wish you played in the NIL era, or are you glad you didn't?
Well, it's twofold, right? On one hand, duh.
The bag.
Because of the money, right? Everybody tells you, I'm glad I didn't have an opportunity to make money is a lie. Everybody wishes they had an opportunity. Yeah, lie. I'm really happy they couldn't pay me. You know, that's a lie. That's not the truth. In hindsight, I'll say this. I'm happy with the fact that things played out in my career and my life the way they did, through relationships, through my friends, through my teammates I have at UCF, right? Because, for example, I can only speak for me, but just being observant, not being naive, right? It would have been hard to keep all of my teammates and me at UCF in 2016.
True.
Because we had a lot of really good players. We had, we had Taco, we had Chad Brown, we had AJ Davis, we had Aubrey Dawkins, we had guys before me that were good players, man. And with NIL being so prevalent, UCF just factually wouldn't have been able to put up what it would have took to keep all those players, or even recruit us to the same schools, right? I don't know if I'm an Orlando guy, UCF would have still been heavily considered. But just honestly, it would have been really, really tough because you're trying to get some of the best players in the state to choose your school for a fraction of what,
other schools.
Some of these basketball powerhouses could pay. So
I didn't think about recruiting. Like high school now, like you could tell them you're going to get paid this much when you come in.
And that's a big part of it. And for dudes, and again, I was blessed and fortunate, like I said, good family, things like that. But, a lot of dudes, man.
They need it.
Yeah, I need that. I love you.
Yes,
dudes,
a lot of guys have to do
I love
that.
my hometown school, but
They got to go get it.
I gotta go get this money. I gotta kick something back home. I gotta be able to, buy myself a little car to get around school. I gotta be able to eat it, like things that really matter. I gotta help my cousin, things like that, man. You can't be mad at a guy for taking care of himself financially and helping his family be in a better position monetarily wise. I just know things wouldn't be the same. The conversation we just had about the Duke game wouldn't have happened because we wouldn't have had the same team. Now you could say it would have been better. You could say it would have been worse.
Yeah,
you could say well, you would have been at Kentucky. You could say you would have been at Michigan State or whatever. But you just don't know. I'm happy with how our thing played out because it's great. You feel me? You feel me? And I just know it wouldn't be the same with NIL being involved.
And with you being so passionate about basketball your whole life, right? I feel like this is the famous question that I always ask. You're doing all the math, but
I don't.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
You didn't hear my Timber Creek story though.
I'll hear it after. I'll hear that. That's a bonus. I gotta know this one because I feel this question for you, like you made it so far in your career and injuries and stuff. So like, when that ball went flat for you, that had to crush you.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, I know, because I witnessed it, and
Yeah.
it was tough for me to
Everybody
see.
goes through it, though.
It was like seeing you, I was kind of rocky around you. I was like, I felt
Yeah,
bad, and
how
I was
you
like,
doing? Yeah.
damn, I can't,
Y'all was in here on eggshells, man. Y'all
Yeah, I
trying
was
to
just
be,
like, damn.
In
trying to be
general, like,
supportive.
it,
I was just like,
Y'all
it was
like,
weird
do
for
we talk to him? Do
me.
we talk to him about it? Do we just
Yeah,
not bring it up?
exactly. You
what I mean?
announced retirement, and I was just
Yeah.
like, hey, man, BJ. Man.
And it was early. Yeah, I retired earlier than most dudes. Like I could have still been playing overseas if I wanted.
I say,
Yeah.
you're in great shape. You could probably still play right now.
I could have played overseas and kept playing overseas.
Yeah.
My dream was to play in the NBA. And once the injury set in to where that was going to be really difficult, not even really difficult, it would be damn near impossible to achieve for any sustained amount of time, right? I was like, I'm going to turn the page to something else. But everybody has to get to that point on their own. For me, it was real tough just because that was what my whole life had been centered around, right? Like people would tell you, like athletes, you should have an identity outside of your sport. Don't identify as an athlete. Don't only recognize or feel good about yourself or find fulfillment in yourself through the sport you play. That's a bunch of baloney.
Yeah.
A bunch of crap.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, you know what I mean?
Nah,
it just is.
It's true, because then how
It
you gonna
just
be
is.
good?
It just is. You
If
know
you
why?
ain't-
You know
you
why?
ain't
It's,
lying.
you know why it's baloney and why it's some crap. I would say a different word, but I'm not gonna say it because y'all keeping it PG.
Yeah.
It's because it's not just how you identify with yourself, it's how others identify with you. So since I was in middle school, and any other good athlete, it ain't exclusive to me, you were the basketball kid.
Yeah.
That
you
was
were the
who
kid that
you
was
were.
good at basketball.
Yes, or you were the kid that, or in my case, even though I wasn't amazing, that's all I cared about. I just told you at PE,
So you wanted to be.
At PE, I wanted to play basketball. In class, I wrote basketball papers. I wore basketball jerseys to school. On Halloween, I dressed up as a different basketball player every year or a football player, right? That was it. That's how people identify with me. I was the first sixth grader to play on my 8th grade basketball team at Conway Middle School. So from that point, I was the basketball kid through adulthood. So you think about the formative years of being in middle school, of being an 11-year-old, 12-year-old, and all the way to you being an adult. In your formative years, you were the basketball kid.
And I think the greatest player.
What you gonna identify as
identifying-
something else?
yeah.
A painter?
Yeah, no, the greatest. Nah, that's what I'm saying. The greatest players. The
You
greatest
identify as a
players.
student? Like no.
Nah, the
I'm an
great-
athlete. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm a ball player. You know,
Yeah,
all the anything. Your whole social life revolves around what you do as a sport. It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first thing any girl gonna ask you about, or whoever you choose to be with as a partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you go that way like I do, you girl. First thing she gonna want to know. Oh, basketball.
Yeah.
Bro, but it's true, like, bro.
That's what
if
you
you
wanna
don't,
know.
if you don't
Yeah, but
identify
basketball.
in your sport, you're not gonna be great. Like they're lying to you, bro.
You're not gonna be great, right? If you don't, if
you're gonna be
don't-
good. You're not gonna be great. The
No.
greatest players, Josh Allen. You telling me they also knows I'm a football player before playing football.
Man, look
like,
at
you
Brady.
Like it's Tom Brady.
Look at
like,
Tom Brady. Tom
yeah,
Brady
bro.
is the most accomplished football player in NFL history. He's done more than any football player has ever done. And he got to the end. And he was still like, I can't leave it.
Yeah, he came right back
He
at
had
40
all-
years old.
Nobody had more reason in the world to leave the sport than him. He had done more than anybody else has done. He's renowned as the greatest football player ever by accomplishment. And he said, I got to come back for another year.
Yeah.
I got to go. I have to go out there until I fail, and I just can't do it no more.
Yeah.
So people are like, well, identify as something else. Identify yourself outside of the sport. I get
It's
what
easy
they're
for other
saying.
people to say, bro.
I get what they're saying. I get,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, don't only look at yourself as an athlete.
That's haters, honestly. That's all.
But
haters.
that is the reality of
I
it. Is
also-
that's how you're gonna look at yourself.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what you do.
Even
I
for
also
me,
feel
after
like-
high school football, I was crying my eyes out. What am I gonna
That's
do
what
now?
I'm saying.
Like,
Anybody who cared about
Yeah.
something in a serious way, whether it stopped for you in high school, whether it stopped for you in college, whether it stopped for you in the pros, that junk is hard. It is not easy
That's
to
me,
just let
man.
go.
When I retire the Clippers, bro, I'm gonna be here crying. Eh?
The junk is
I
hard.
love, I love
man.
cutting
It's
hair,
hard
but
to
listen,
let go.
but look, for real. Like this is all I've done since I was a kid. I was
Yeah.
13 cutting hair. Then my senior year, I started cutting hair as a senior.
Oh, the day you start cutting hair, you're gonna lose your
So
mind.
I've only been cutting hair my whole life. I don't even think about retirement. I always jokingly tell you I'm gonna retire one day, but I actually love talking to people. Like I said, meeting good people,
Yeah.
cutting hair.
Yeah,
So
there's
I-
times,
they
I'm
like-
not gonna lie, not
Yeah.
to cut you off, there's times where I come in here and he'll be cutting somebody that, like for me, when I'm cutting a new person, I know as a barber, you have to be, you have to chop it up, you
Yeah,
have to get to know
talk
the
to
person,
them.
especially if they're like, oh, this guy cuts all these cool people,
Yeah,
I'm about
you
to get a
gotta
cut from
talk
him.
to 'em, yeah.
You gotta show him a service, you can't just be an asshole, you
No,
know what I'm saying?
no, you
you
gotta
might
be-
not wanna be like, I can tell, sometimes he'll come in here, he don't wanna talk to nobody, and then he got somebody, and then I hear him yapping, and I'm like, how is he able to, even though I could do that too,
No,
but
he just
sometimes
do it.
I
I just
fail.
like it.
Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
like, this guy gonna have to just.
Yeah.
I feel
what you
bad
get,
because that
you know what I'm
person,
saying?
like, that person wants to. I feel like God gives you a chance to be in a cool
And I
journey.
try to remind
like, everybody
myself,
got their
bro,
own
I
version
try.
of a journey.
Yeah.
It just that you got off that stop. Now you're at a new stop. In
Bro,
life, you know what I'm saying?
bro, I'm sitting there
And
sometimes
me,
eating.
that's all I know.
Sometimes I'm eating and I know he doesn't know this guy, and they're just talking about nothing. He just
Well, and you know too,
I'm like,
But
this
then
is
I be
crazy.
asking them like stuff because
Yeah,
I
I'm
try
just
to
like
make
this.
them feel. I
I'm
gotta
just
sell a
eating.
haircut. I
No,
want
this
to
man, he's
And
just
going to the
talking.
shop, and
And
going to the
people-
shop is therapy
Yeah.
for a lot of people
Yeah.
too.
No, it is, it is,
Going
it
to
is.
the
Trust
shop
me,
is one of the
trust
few.
me.
Man, look, man,
They-
y'all know stuff about people
Hey, ain't
Bro,
lying.
that
what?
should
Eric?
never, ever be said or spoken of
I love being a barber, bro.
to their
I
significant
it,
other.
yeah,
I love being a
yeah.
barber.
It should never get back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People feel like they can come to the shop and just let off whatever.
It's
it is.
so
Yeah,
hard for
100%.
me to see myself in a different career, but it's not saying that I wouldn't. It's just that
When's the last time you went a month without cutting a head?
pandemic.
I broke my hand.
Pandemic.
That was a month you didn't
Yeah.
cut.
I had 30 days.
For
It
me,
felt,
for-
it felt
But I
real
be on a
weird.
cruise. I was on a cruise recently. It was like 7 days.
And you felt weird.
4 days in, I was like walking
Yeah.
past the barbershop on the cruise. Like, is it open?
What's going
You
on?
heard?
Yeah.
Let me cut
For me,
somebody
it was
else.
two different types of
I couldn't
situations.
help it.
I broke my
I said, I
hand.
need to do it, man. I need to do it.
Let me get
Just let me get a cut. Let me get a cut.
So during COVID, for me, it was like the first week, I was like, hey, everybody's not cutting.
Yeah.
Whatever, I'm chilling. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
cool.
Hell yeah. Eating ice cream. You know what I mean? I was 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And then they said another week off. Oh, bet, whatever. And then now it's like, oh, I'm starting to get into the savings.
Starting to get itching.
Now, yeah, I'm like, okay, hold on. It was
starting to
really
get
like a
savings.
financial thing. I was like, hey, chill
But
out.
yeah, that'll hit
I
you,
thought it was a
bro.
little vacation, staycation. you know
That'll
what I
hit
mean?
you, bro. That's some real stuff.
Hey, I need to know the Timber Creek story.
Yeah, tell me.
Oh, so like
It ain't
you talking
nothing,
about the high school
It
stuff.
ain't nothing.
You talking about, it's not that deep. It's real quick. So I went off. I did had a good game against y'all, and all the good players in the area like know each other and stuff like that. So it was one. Stuck was supposed to be good.
Stuck, episode 2. Go ahead.
Love for Stuck, man.
Yeah.
Stuck's
Stuck on
doing
CD,
great in
man.
his coaching journey.
Yeah.
He's gonna be
He's
he's
got
gonna
a
be great, man. He's gonna do.
motive.
He's focused on it. He's gonna be great. But I was like, I got Stuck. I ain't seen Stuck in a minute because we played each other growing up, like in biddy ball. And again, I had to find motivation through something. Every school, I
Yeah.
found a different motivation. Whether it was your
Yeah.
student section or whether it was a girl at your school who I wanted to like and she ain't like me back, I was gonna go off on your school.
Yeah.
I went crazy on Colonial for that reason.
Yeah.
But y'all, part of it was Stuck, and you might not remember. You probably didn't go to the game because you was a year.
Older.
You was 13.
I graduated 13, yeah.
Yeah, so I was 2014, and Quez killing it in football. Like Quez the man, Quez the man in football, right? This the running back. of the
And he
era.
playing basketball.
This the running back, and he was on the
Forgot.
basketball
Quez played
team.
basketball.
And he was on the basketball team.
No, he
But he
didn't.
showed up. But look, he showed up, but he didn't dress out. He just like bro, he just went to the game. And as soon as I
big
see
purple jumpsuit.
big purple jumpsuit, as soon as I saw Quez over there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna give Quez a show. I'm gonna go crazy. Somebody knocked Timber Creek. I was just like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave this
yeah.
gym. And
See, that's 'cause
and
you
then
love football too,
and
though.
Quez gonna go back
He-
to school tomorrow, telling everybody how this little dude went crazy
Yeah,
on them
this
boys
DJ
last
kid,
night.
yeah.
And we was leaving the gym after the game, and like we was walking like actual out to the
How
car.
many points you had? Like 30?
I think it was like 39. That's
So,
why you said 59
I think it was
earlier. I
like
thought
30.
was
Yeah,
53.
probably like 39.
Yeah. I think
it was
And,
39.
I had just became McDonald's All-American nominee that day, and we was walking out the gym, and Quez was behind me, so I slowed up my pace a little bit on my walk because I was like, he gonna say something to me. He gonna say he gotta put respect on this, and and nevertheless here he come. Hey yo, bro, B, hey,
Good game, bro.
went crazy tonight, bro. That was crazy. Good game, bro.
Yeah.
I played it cool. I was like, oh man, thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man. Hey, keep doing your thing. Not knowing, whole drive home, I was in the car like, yeah, Quez know who I am.
Yeah, facts.
Quez know I'm going crazy.
Yo, that's official.
Well, that's so dope because it's like you actually.
He don't know
love-
that story.
I
I
was
never
gonna
told
say,
him that.
Quest.
Yeah, I've never told him
Hey, he
that.
gonna
That's my
see
dog.
Now you gonna see.
Hey, I was gonna say that's dope because you love football. So
I love
obviously
football.
you knew who
He
he was
knows
watching
that.
football.
Getting the
Like,
number
I
one
text
running
you
back
like
in the
this.
country.
Yes.
That
He's
mean
the
go like,
best.
hey, bro.
Yeah,
Bro, 'cause he was right there.
Word.
Because you know, football runs the state. So I mean, Quez like every time you cut on Channel 7, he came to Boone that year, and he had like 5 or 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It was something crazy. At
First
Boone.
play scored.
Yeah, it was unstoppable. You know, in high school with a dude like Quez, especially playing a Boone, he'd have been the best at anything. He'd have been the best defensive end. He'd have been the best quarterback. He'd have been the best linebacker. He could have played all the damn positions. He's the best athlete on the field.
Yeah.
He don't know that story, but yeah.
That's a cool story. I like that story, man.
I was gonna tell before we head out, man, because I think we covered everything, bro. I always appreciate you coming, bro. You know, it's love.
Yes,
You
sir.
always the
Love,
shop
man,
here,
for real.
Popular Hair Studio.
Yes,
pull up.
hey, man, best shop
I was
in
gonna
Orlando.
say, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to? Your mom, your dad, sister?
Oh man,
anybody?
yeah, for sure. Long list. Obviously, I gave shout out to the parents, mom and dad, equally. What they did for me obviously was the reason why I became what I am. Like I said, my dad's discipline, my mom's support, unmatched. My sister came to all my games. Mad love for her and everything that she did, because she would go to all my games and stuff, and she was older than me.
She an athlete?
She'd sit there and whatnot. She ain't played. That's the point.
really?
She'd still be there, just supporting. The Orlando community as a whole, got to shout them out, and the support they've given me throughout the years as a player and as an athlete. No other city I'd rather grown up in and played ball in. My teammates, because my teammates, man, you know, they the dudes that you don't know at the time, but they the dudes who always will have your back for the rest of your life, especially your college teammates. Coaches, man, anybody who played a role, man, in helping me, you know, become who I am, because nobody gets to where they are alone. Everybody needs help. Everybody needs motivation. And I hope moving forward that I can motivate and inspire in a variety of ways, because obviously my career, you know, didn't turn into big NBA star or nothing like that, but you know, I think things are going well in a different lane than what the traditional path is of being college star, right? There's a lot of avenues you can take if you work hard at a sport and are willing to, you know, build good relationships. So, and shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all, man, because I've gotten hella cuts from you, you know.
Hold on, let me see.
You best backup quarterback in the game, man. You a whole.
You know what I'm saying? I get it done.
Case
Put it where it need to be.
Keenum.
You know what I mean?
You know,
Nah,
you
but
are
I was gonna say you gotta shout out Dave. You know what I'm saying? That crispy hairline.
Shout out to Dave, man. Dave
Razor
Razor Sharp, man. One of the best barbers in Orlando. I mean, they have three of the best barbers. I can personally vouch for three of the best barbers in Orlando
Appreciate it,
with
bro.
Dave Razor
Yeah.
Sharp.
That's going on my Instagram.
Miguel and Show Sharp.
But hold on, real quick. I remember one time when Stuckey was coaching against UCF last season.
Yep.
Dave was out of town for 2 weeks, so he needed 2 cuts, right?
Don't put that man on blast like that.
This was so funny, bro. So I asked BJ, I was like, I need 2 tickets, bro. You got me? And I missed, I couldn't get him the first week, right? So after the game, BJ was commenting that game, right? He was in the suit and stuff. He came over to say what up. I'm screaming. I wanted BJ to come over. Because I was talking to Stuck after the game.
Yeah.
I was like, BJ, he's I'm coming, man. I was like, what's up with this guy, right? He's walking up. He's like, this man talking about 2 tickets. I need 2 cuts.
I need 2 cuts. He got me on 1 cut.
That's so funny because I couldn't get him the first week. But then
I could
you
get it on the
week,
second cut.
That was so funny. I don't
Hey,
know
we
why,
actually
bro.
listen. We gotta go to the games this year.
Y'all
We're
should go to the
probably gonna
games.
cut that part. Let's
Support
go to the
UCF.
games, but
Support UCF,
we
man.
gotta go to this game this year, bro.
Support UCF, man. Great conference. They got Kansas. They got like 5 or 6 top 25
I just
teams.
want to go because I feel
We
like
out there,
this.
man.
I never been
Pull
to a
up.
football game.
Never
And he
been
took
to
me
a
for the
football
first
game?
time. He popped
How
my
about
cherry.
Jerry?
Oh, did he? He took me to the. I'm saying he took me to the football
It was
game.
Colorado.
And it was. I've been locked in.
Yeah.
The Colorado game was locked in. You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
And I was like, yo, this is so much fun. Like we should go to UCF game, baseball game. We could do all that stuff.
Good, man.
It's a great school.
Great
UCF is a
school.
great
Shout out
school.
UCF, man.
Shout out UCF, man. For
Go
those who
Knights,
don't know.
charge on.
Hey, honestly, you said it best, bro. You guys helped change that atmosphere.
Thank you.
That
Lay
is-
the bricks
that-
down.
Yeah,
Thank
lay
you.
the
Lay
bricks.
bricks down
Hey,
in the
that's
city,
not-
for real.
It's actually a great school to
For
go
real.
to.
It is, man.
And I
But
feel
it
like you
wasn't
guys
when you
did
pulled up,
pivot
though.
that, bro.
Nah. Where you going? UFC? I know you got that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thought we was in a goddamn
Cause I
cage
got that.
match.
Oh, did the UFC school back? Yeah, I know
Boys
you
thought
talking
we was
about.
in
I
a
know you
cage
talking
match,
about.
UFC, man. But nah, it's been great, man. It was
But hey,
great run.
Thank you, bro, from me, from this guy right here, of course.
Appreciate y'all
Thank
boys,
you,
man.
man.
Episode 6.
Part of what we was talking about being a barber, man. One of my moments that I love on Fridays when you pull up, bro.
Appreciate
you know, we
you,
clown, bro. We be serious, whatever it is, bro. You're a real dude, bro. You
Dog,
know, like,
appreciate both
Hey,
of
man,
y'all.
shout out your dad, man. He raised a great man, bro.
Show, man.
For
And
real,
my mom, man.
Shout out your dad.
Mom kept me
man.
going.
Hey, you
For
said
real.
8:45, right?
Y'all on that?
8:38.
Hey, we good, man.
Come on, man.
Y'all professional.
Dancing, dancing.